No Coca-Cola in Cuba and North Korea. No matter where you go, it's comforting to know you can always enjoy a Coca-Cola. Well, almost anywhere. While this fizzy drink is sold practically everywhere, it still hasn't, officially, made its way to North Korea or Cuba, according to the BBC. That's because these countries are under long-term US trade embargoes. However, some folks say you might be able to snag a sip of the stuff if you try hard enough, although it'll typically be a lot more expensive than what you would pay in the States and probably imported from a neighboring country such as Mexico or China. The entire world's population could fit inside Los Angeles. The world's total population is more than 7.5 billion. And obviously, that number sounds huge. However, it might feel a little more manageable once you learn that if every single one of those people stood shoulder to shoulder, they could all fit within the 500 square miles of Los Angeles, according to National Geographic. World twins' birth rate has been increasing than before. You might think twins are a rarity, but they're actually becoming more common than ever. From about 1915, when the statistical record begins, until 1980, about 1 in every 50 babies born was a twin, a rate of 2%, writes Alexis C. Madrigal of The Atlantic. Then, the rate began to increase. By 1995, it was 2.5%. The rate surpassed 3% in 2001 and hit 3.3% in 2010. That means 1 out of every 30 babies born is a twin. Scientists believe this trend is due to the fact that older women tend to have more twins, and women are choosing to start families later. Fertility treatments such as in vitro fertilization likely also play a role. The hottest chili in the world: Carolina Reaper. The Carolina Reaper is currently the hottest pepper in the world, measuring over 2 million Scoville heat units. It was developed by grower Ed Curry. This is an extremely hot chili pepper developed by a grower named Ed Curry, and is currently the hottest pepper in the world. It is also called HP22B pepper. As of 2013, it was over 7 generations old. Ed created this chili pepper plant variety by crossing a Pakistani Naga with a red habanero type from St. Vincent's Island in the West Indies. It was bred in South Carolina and tested at over 2.2 million Scoville heat units. The flavor is fruity and similar to a 7-pot chili pepper. The Carolina Reaper can grow to a height over 4 feet tall. It is currently listed at the hottest pepper in the world by the Guinness World Records. More people visit France than any other country. France is a beautiful country, filled to the brim with delicious wines, scrumptious cheese, and tons of romance. So, it's no surprise that more people want to visit France than any other country in the world, according to the United Nations World Tourism Organization. In 2018, international tourist arrivals are: number 1. France. 89.4 million. Number 2. Spain. 82.8 million. Number 3. States. 79.7 million. Number 4. China. 62.9 million. Number 5. Italy. 61.6 million. The world's most densely populated island: Santa Cruz del Islote. Santa Cruz del Islote is a tiny island on the Caribbean coast of Colombia. 500 people live in 115 houses on an area the size of a soccer field, but the artificial island has 4 main streets and 10 neighborhoods. 500 people live on the island in around 155 houses. With so many people packed into such a small space, it's the most densely populated island in the world, according to The Guardian. The Canary Islands are named after dogs, not birds. The islands were named after dogs, not birds. The chirpy canary bird does come from the Canary Islands. But, the name actually originated from the Latin word for dogs, canaria. Most likely, the name developed from the resident sea lions on the island, which the Romans called sea dogs. Indonesia is home to some of the shortest people in the world. There are short people and tall people everywhere. Indonesia is home to some of the shortest people in the world, according to data compiled from various global sources by The Telegraph in 2017. When taking both genders into account, the average adult is around 5 feet, 1.8 inches. People in Bolivia don't tend to be much taller, with an average adult height of 5 feet, 2.4 inches. The tallest people among us live in the Netherlands, where the average adult height is 6 feet. The Paris Agreement on climate change was signed by the largest number of countries ever in one day. When 174 world leaders signed the Paris Agreement on Earth Day in 2016 at the United Nations, UN, headquarters in New York, it was the largest number of countries ever to come together to sign anything on a single day, according to the UN. The agreement aimed to combat climate change and accelerate and intensify the actions and investments needed to strengthen the global climate effort. The world's quietest room. According to Sound Acoustic Solutions, the quietest place on Earth is an anechoic chamber at Orfield Laboratories in Minnesota. The space is so quiet that the longest anybody has been able to bear it was an entire 45 minutes. It is 99.99% sound absorbent and holds the Guinness World Record for the world's quietest place. The inside of the small room is lined on all 6 sides with deep, fiberglass wedges, a double wall of insulated steel and foot-thick concrete. According to CNN, the world's second quietest room, located at Microsoft's headquarters in Redmond, Washington, the lab room measures a background noise of -20.35 dBA, which is 20 decibels below the threshold of human hearing.